Man, that was quick. Hey, hi, I'm Steve Lowery. I'm the editor of the High-Low. I'm joined by Mike and JJ from the 562. We are here to talk shark. The shark is the new mascot of Long Beach State. We're here to talk about it. They just unveiled it yesterday. Mike, you said you had a question that you wanted to start us off.
Yeah. So JJ and I are sports writers who have not been able to cover any sports for 5 months. So at this point, the only remaining certainty left in our lives is that at some point we will die. So my question for JJ is, you get run over by a bus or whatever, there's the white light, then you come back and Steve is texting you saying, I need you to write something about the mascot situation at Long Beach State. Are you in hell or purgatory?
Oh, purgatory, because the waiting certainly has been the hardest part. And we've been waiting for this to be finally over for over 2.5 years.
But about
it's been
3
way
years.
Too long. To be honest with you, hit by a bus, I'd rather get eaten by a shark than have to write another story about this.
Shark's driving the bus. This all came down yesterday, Monday, Long Beach State, Cal State Long Beach. Even the school goes by many different names.
We'll get to it.
Release the video, Stephen, anytime you want to put the video up, to announce the arrival of the new shark named Elbee. But it's not L-B, it's E-L-B-E-E, because let's just make it more confusing, okay? That's just what we're doing here. And it's just, as Mike alluded to, this has been literally a saga, just ongoing. Here he is. Okay, guys, there he is.
We're doing the Mystery Science Theater 3000. I like this. So first of all, the shark has a wagon. We have to acknowledge a really nice back piece on that shark.
Yeah. Although, doesn't his head look like he's wearing a diver's helmet? It kind of looks like that, right?
Yes.
He's ripped. I mean, they're ripped. I give the shark credit for the muscles. I don't understand the hands.
The fingers?
Yeah, I don't get the fingers under the fin. Steve, I don't understand why it's not school colors of some kind.
If you wanted to make it look like Bruce from Finding Nemo, just make it Bruce from Finding Nemo. Why go so close without going the whole way?
They can't afford a Disney licensing, you know?
Okay, so let's go back to that head to begin with. There's a kid who shows up at all the games in a shark costume that he probably bought for $25 at Party City. And it doesn't have this. Look at that, the big thing there. I mean, it's like they're not even trying to say this is a shark. This is clearly two separate. They don't even look like they're the same color.
Part of the thing about signing up to be a mascot is that you're signing up to be tortured, right? And it appears that they're trying to mitigate the torture for whoever's going to be inside of the Elbee costume. But JJ and I actually have done a feature on the people who had previously been in the Prospector Pete costume. And you had to really be in shape to do it, because it's just, I mean, you have to cardiovascularly have to be in shape, everything else. I don't understand why you shouldn't be able to breathe in a mascot outfit, first of all, whether it's Disneyland or Long Beach State. And then the hands, you're not supposed to be able to pick anything up or do anything. You're supposed to be
freaking you out, man.
I don't know. Well, look, it's weird.
They are weird the way they are. Like, if they're going to be they look like little remoras that are sucking on a fin or something like that. Like, what is going on? Okay, so let's stop right here. You mentioned it before. JJ, here's an odd thing. I wrote a piece for us yesterday about this. For a school mascot, this mascot doesn't seem to have a lot of school spirit, because except for the Elbee that is black, there is no school colors. There's no gold. You would think that the school colors are gray and white.
Absolutely. Black and gold, if you don't know, a pretty popular color combination here in the city of Long Beach.
Right.
And a lot of people like it. A lot of people wear it, even if it's not Long Beach State gear. And they went away from it, which I don't understand. I knew that the Elbee thing was coming. But even when I read it for the first time, E-L-B-E-E, do you guys remember that commercial bumper before and after Saturday morning cartoons on CBS where the kid's chasing the dog and he yells, "Will be"? Right back. That's all I can think of. Every time I see Elbee in my head, I just think right back.
Okay, so great that you bring up cartoons, because, and we'll come back to this video, but Stephen, our producer, if you can put up what this mascot was instantly been compared to, for instance, in, they have a great, the 562 has a thing up on our sports page. There it is, Jabberjaw from the 70s. That's what people think. And look, and there's of course Conan O'Brien. But there it is. By the way, this is my own kind of torture. See, you guys probably got like, what were your cartoons growing up?
Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters. You know, yeah.
I mean, I'm an old school guy though, so I'm all about the Looney Tunes.
And Looney Tunes are the best, but see, I got right in the middle there, so I got this stuff, Scooby Doo.
You got Hanna-Barbera.
Oh God,
kid stuff.
And to be honest, why do I think that is a good representation of this? In both cases, it doesn't seem like the people who were making them were really all that committed. That there was a lot of like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Right?
Yeah, I want to see the other versions. What got left on the editing room floor after this was the final product?
I liked, it was good for all of, I saw, I don't know, probably 24 Long Beach State like art graphic design students who just uploaded. I've literally just done a couple color replaces on, and here, this is what it would look like with some black and gold in it.
Look at that one. This is
great. Yeah, it's fantastic.
One of our people on our staff did that just to put the school colors.
I like that.
That's cool.
I like some of the other ones I saw yesterday where they just put, it was like a gold Elbee with a black stroke around it. I saw some people did just a tint on the teeth. Some people focused on the eyes. There's so many creative ways to bring it in. And then Steve, you mentioned they then make it the jersey number, which it's also not wearing a jersey. The jersey number is 49.
Okay, so
which seems like a deliberate, like kicking sand in the face of all of the, the angry old 49er alums who have been so pissed off about this for the last 3 years.
So to follow up on what Mike's talking about, we're going to get into the history in one sec. The shark replaces the 49er, and we'll talk about why in a second. But the school certainly wanted to distance itself from the 49er, get away from the 49er, forget about the 49er. And then they give this thing the number 49. Why would you do that? To say, oh, hey, remember that thing you hated? This is it. And to the people who love the 49er, oh, you remember that thing you really loved? You get like
this is not
much,
it.
Just enough to, just really get it to you.
It's actually even more specific than you were saying. So 49er was to Sharks as Prospector Pete is to Elbee the Shark, right?
Yes.
What I would draw a circle around here before we even begin the history, because this is always the part that drives JJ and I the craziest, is there's been so much, I mean hundreds of, like as sports writers, we hate this stuff because it just overtakes everything else in the world, the hatred. I literally got texted by 7 Olympians from Long Beach State yesterday, completely separate from each other, to just say, are we allowed to cuss on your live chats here, Steve?
No. They give me S word, F word, something like that.
They texted me to cuss about the mascot, okay?
Right.
So every time there's a round of this stuff, more people find out about it and more people are upset because they've not done it cleanly, okay? Right. But the thing I would just say, first of all, if this is your first time interacting with this story, this has almost nothing to do with anything. It is not ever going to be the school's sports team mascot, which is the only time you ever hear what the mascot of a school is. So right. The sports teams are still going to be the beach. It'll still be beach basketball, beach volleyball. They removed 49ers from the sports programs like 3 years ago, Jage.
Yes.
So that's still going to be the case. They don't kick people out of the pyramid for saying go 49ers when they're watching a basketball game. But there was a marketing study done, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, that said when people hear 49ers, they think the San Francisco 49ers. And so the athletic department at that time, under a different athletic director, had been looking for an excuse to get rid of 49ers. It happened to come about at a time that there was a group of students and a professor who also wanted prospectors and the 49ers gone from the campus. So everything got wiped away kind of at the same time. But the school's athletic department, which is Long Beach State, not Cal State Long Beach, has said and maintains, we will never be the Sharks. We're the beach, and the baseball team is the Dirtbags. The students are the Sharks. That's about as complicated as you can possibly get.
Yeah, let me jump in there.
Hold on, let me throw one other thing. My wife went to UCLA.
Okay.
And that's the end of the sentence. She went to UCLA. Everyone there knows what the school is called. Everyone knows what the mascot is.
Right.
Never any confusion. Right. I've been to Long Beach State or Cal State Long Beach or CSUOB. I was a 49er, a Shark,
right,
There's a Prospector Pete statue that's now still going to be on campus, but in a different place than it used to be on campus. Less
For a
public.
little while, the squirrels. Yeah.
There was no need for this. There was absolutely no need. You ask yourself why, and there's no answer. You could easily go without a mascot. The beach is great. Go Beach is our Roll Tide. Right. You can call the teams the beach. You can call the place the beach. You can even have announcers use beach as a reference to the teams on television. You just don't need one. They could have gotten rid of Prospector Pete and been done with it. But that is clearly not the modus operandi for this whole process.
That's a great point. Because, and Alabama is a perfect point. Crimson Tide. It's mysterious. What is that? Blah, blah, blah. And then they have an elephant for some reason.
Oh, yeah, who cares?
And everyone says, yay, elephant, Roll Tide. You could have had a shark. It's perfect. Beach, shark, but just make sure it's beach. I mean, Georgetown is Hoyas, and for some reason they have a dog. They have a bulldog or something like that.
Well, that's what, and that's what would get pointed out to us is, and JJ and I would always say, like, and I mean, we've had some fun we've had quite a bit of fun actually with the university over this, but, they'd say like, well, USC is USC or Southern Cal. You just go, you're not comparing yourself to USC, are you? I mean, I'm a proud alumni of Long Beach State, right? Very good chance that's where my kids are going. But like, you're not USC. The Cal State Long Beach State thing is not a strength, right? It's something everyone makes fun of.
Right. Well, I want to touch on that because this reminds me. See, I feel very weird about Long Beach State now, where I also went to school, right?
We're all Long Beach State.
We're all Long Beach State people, okay? Yes. So we're in.
As are the Olympians who called to text me about it. None of this is being done out of a hatred for the school, okay?
when I hear about Cal State Long Beach now and how hard it is to get in and how they turn people away and they build this beautiful pyramid and they call themselves Beach and they have beautiful school colors. It is unrecognizable to me. I went to school there when the colors looked like a bean burrito. They were brown with some yellow. It looked like Velveeta on some refried beans. And then, the saying was, if you had a pulse, you got in. Absolutely true. No one was getting turned away from Long Beach State. And all I can say is this is the first time in such a long time that this reminds me of that Long Beach State that I went to. So I want to ask you a question off that. The people who run Long Beach State right now are very good at what they do. They're smart people. They're sharp people. They have built that school into something. How does this happen then with those people in charge?
They're great.
They're not Long Beach State. They're not Long Beach State people. Yeah. They're not from Long Beach. They haven't been here before. They wouldn't even know what you're talking about when you would mention a brown and gold or anything different than what they've seen. There's so much turnover at that school that the tradition gets shuffled up and redealt all the time.
I would add that to Steve's point, they've done a great job of running a university. The university it was the same way when JJ and I went there as when you went there, Steve. I think literally somewhere between 300 and 400 people I graduated high school with went to Long Beach State with me. And we joked because it doesn't even feel like we're going to college. We just all, everyone in Long Beach who wanted to go there went to Long Beach State.
We called it 13th grade.
That's exactly what we call it.
Right?
We're 13th grade, correct. So, to me, I'm so proud to be an alumni, seeing all of the stuff they've done with the school, with the stuff that actually matters, right? The degree means more now than it did when we all got it. That's a great thing, even though mine's got Arnold Schwarzenegger's autograph on it, which is technically worth something, I guess. But this is not a school thing. This is a PR thing. And they have it has been screwed up consistently for years and years and years. The name confusion is screwed up over and over again. And to JJ and I, Steve, you know the story of how it went from brown and yellow to black and gold, right?
No.
They hired George Allen as a football coach.
I do know this. Yeah, but go ahead.
George Allen walks onto campus, right? And George Allen is not a Long Beach State guy. George Allen's a USC guy, right? A guy that would go take over a famous program. He was a Super Bowl winning coach. And he walks on to campus and quite literally sees the practice uniforms for the football team and says, "Those are ugly. We wear black and gold now." Now, I'm a pro-democracy person, but the designing of a mascot should not be a democratic process. It should be someone with a vision who goes, that sucks, that's good, who's right. And then you don't have well, we had a 12-month process to do all this, and we're doing this. It just, if F. King Alexander had said, as we bugged him to do all the time when he was the president, dude, just come out tomorrow and say it's Long Beach State University.
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't matter what the mascot is, whatever. Just put some clarity out there,
Right.
so that you don't have these decades-old back and forth between, what the name of the school is, what the name of the mascot is. It's just, I don't know.
But like I said, that's what you get with turnover. George Allen just comes in and changes the entire tradition of a school. Not a Long Beach guy, not a Long Beach State guy. That's what I'm talking about. And then you also have to feel bad for people like Andy Fee. Think about this mess he inherited when he took over as athletic director a few years ago. You've got the branding debate already raging and out of control. You've got a bad contract for both of your basketball coaches, and your baseball coach is assaulting his coworkers. This is the things that this guy had to deal with in the first 2 years of being on campus. So at some point, you just everybody's got to put their mark on it. And it seems like so many marks have put down that you can't even see the paper anymore.
And now that you guys mention it, the black and gold, beach, and dirtbags all happened organically, didn't they? They came just from the people themselves.
Yeah.
I know dirtbags didn't. I think beach was just something people started saying.
Bob Maxson started saying go beach, and everyone started saying go beach. But to your exact point, and this is the same thing with comparing the university to Alabama or USC, it became popular because Brian Gimalaro's women's volleyball team was winning national championships. So when Bob Maxson said go beach, there's 5,000 people in the pyramid to say go beach because they were going to watch him win a Final Four match. You know what I mean? So that to me is the exact point, is just focus on the quality. They've done, as you said, a great job of doing that with the school. The athletic department's won 2 national championships for men's volleyball. And as JJ and I pointed out, I think this is one of the first things we wrote for you when you got to the Post, Steve. The university's PR people, separate from the athletic department, rolled out the Sharks news that the day after the national championship for the men's volleyball team. Right. So here's a moment when everyone should be going, our university is the best in the country at something. We're really proud of this. And then they issue a press release that, I'm over here at Port Richards listening to 100 alumni cussing him out over it,
Now, a little birdie told me, I was wondering if you guys had heard similar things. When this thing came out, it really did land like a thud. I encourage everyone to check out the guy's story on our sports page.
A couple of the Olympians I mentioned have their tweets about it where they say they're going to puke.
Yes, it really just landed with a thud. I've actually heard though that there are some people at the school who are honestly shocked that this thing has landed the way it has. Like they thought there was going to be this acclamation, yes, this is it. Have you heard the same thing?
I'll bet you those people aren't from Long Beach.
Yeah, I think you can even see it in the press release that was put out. This was the great, excited, we did so much work and all this other stuff. And it's people don't care how much work went into things. When you're talking about their college, they care about, am I going to have, as was the case, people from rival schools. There was a bunch of I hated it. JJ would have been pissed at me, but I was retweeting Fullerton people who were celebrating it, who were going, oh, this is great. Our big rivals got a Saturday morning cartoon as their new mascot.
Yeah. Hey, don't throw stones in a Tuffy built house. Okay. You've got an elephant. Keep it to yourselves.
And I'm just looking
at an elephant that's recognizable to the people who went to school there 2 years ago,
I'm looking at Elbee up right now, and it strikes me that if you are going to name your mascot a shark, this is in the tradition of a lion, of a tiger. You want something that is dignified, fierce for the right reasons. You want something that if you were to animate it, it would sound either like Morgan Freeman or James Earl Jones. This thing looks like it would be on the corner trying to sell you Herbalife, and it would be the voice of Gilbert Gottfried coming out of it, right? I mean,
yeah, flipping a sign too.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. It looks like it's flipping a sign for the April 13th tax services.
You got to use those hands for something, man. Those hands are there. Put them to use.
Freaky fingers. Well, guys, thanks for coming in. And I don't know, just as we're leaving with this, do you think this is the last we probably ever see of this thing? That basically it'll come out, and then once everyone. Oh, by the way, I want to go back on one thing. Stephen, can you run the video one more time? I just want to point out one other thing on the video that is really kind of freaky. Stephen, are you there? Hello, Stephen. Hold on a sec.
It's going.
Okay, here we go. Just watch this. Is it just me? This looks like some dystopian nightmare. There's nobody on campus. This is scary.
Yeah, the timing of it is a real bummer. You know,
Yeah.
It's the intro to Vanilla Sky, Tom Cruise role played by Elbee. To your point, Steve, this is not the last time we'll see this. This is not the last time we'll see a situation like this at a school, a university. The CSU system came out and told all of their member schools they don't want individuals as mascots. I'm looking at you, Cal State Northridge. Matadors is on the chopping block next. You know what I mean? That's a group of people who profits from unnecessary suffering of animals, like gauchos, all that stuff. One American's Robin Hood is another Sheriff of Nottingham. And that stuff is just going to keep happening over and over again. We shouldn't be using public buildings to honor famously controversial figures. I just don't get it. Animals are always good if you make them look like the actual animal.
Right. Absolutely. Oh, I didn't know that. They specifically said let's start.
It's in the guidelines that they want that change, which was one of the things, that again, I think some people at the university sort of stepped behind that and said, well, they don't want us to do this. They'd already decided to stop doing it, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, it's going to be, hey, here's what I say. I do think you saw more of the shark yesterday on Twitter and Facebook than you'll see of it in the future, just because it's not, no one's saying go Sharks at sporting events. It's not the name of the sports teams. No one, at least as far as I'm concerned, and I'm an alumni who's around the university a fair amount. Steve, you don't go back to Long Beach State to walk around and talk to students and say, hey, you're a Shark, right? I mean, so it's not going to be applied anywhere, other than I guess on some of the gear in the, in the bookstore or whatever. So no, the whole thing to me has been much ado about nothing to a large extent. They made the real change a couple years ago. More people started calling it Long Beach State. They started calling the sports teams Beach. Not really much has changed with the removal of the Prospector Pete statue. I don't give a crap about that. I didn't go kneel before I went to class.
Right.
Whatever. They moved an old statue that happens on college campuses, and now they named the student body or whatever the Sharks. I mean, it's a mountain out of a molehill, and both of the mounds of things are done. So I don't know.
And to be honest, they should be grateful because they avoided the other choice, which apparently they were going to become the Khloe Kardashian. So this, I guess, in comparison, we're being
at least they have a budget at that point.
Yeah.
Hey, Stephen, run the video one more time because I'm hearing from our people that people actually like watching the video. I don't know what it is about that, but here we go. You get one more look. There he is.
The thing that makes me angriest in the whole video is that the sign says California State University of Long Beach, that they're so adamant on associating themselves with the second best public university system in the state, as opposed to saying Long Beach is an awesome place. We're a great place. We're Long Beach State. That to me is worse than any of the other stuff in the video.
San Jose does it. San Jose State. There you go.
Shouldn't he be San Jose State, San Diego State, Fresno State? Shouldn't the Shark be in the water at some point?
Yeah, he actually looks a little like he's a little around that stuff too.
Even in an anime, shouldn't there be an animation of the shark jumps out of the water and then he does that weird point thing?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah. Now he's
not in it?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
He's headed towards the water.
Yeah,
I mean, we know he likes to stand near fountains, but I find that to be a little bit of an odd characteristic as well.
In fact, in that shot, it doesn't look like he's looking to return home. It looks more like he's having an existential crisis.
Yeah.
Kind of thinking nobody likes me. Maybe I should end this.
He's like, oh my God, do I have to go up the Macintosh building and talk to my advisor and tell them why I failed that class? Which I guess then maybe it is a representative mascot at least.
No, for sure. For sure. He's longing for a normal shark life, just like we're longing for a normal sports story to write.
Yeah, exactly. Please, Lord. Guys, thanks very much. This was great. Elbee, it was nice knowing you. We'll see you later. Everybody at home, thanks again for viewing. We'll have a live chat tomorrow. Be sure and tune in. Until then, stay cool. Thanks again.